Everyone, welcome. How are you today? It is Leader to Leader, brought to you by LEAD Brevard. I'm so glad to have you with us. I'm Geo Ropert, your host from Ropert and Partners Public Relations, the 2001 graduate of Leadership Brevard, the best class, which is undisputed, except for when each guest comes on and then it is disputed. But that's okay. We have a great time here. It's a lot of fun. I've got a great guest with me. I'm going to be bringing her on in just a second. I hope you're having a great day. It is beautiful, sunny Florida, sunshine out there, and I hope you're making the best of it wherever you may be, whether that be working in your office, which many people, seeing a lot more folks going back to work in their offices or places of business, or if you're still working from home, or if you're working from the beach, which I think a few people are starting to learn how to do. You know, as long as they can get that Wi-Fi working, they're in a good position. So. But this is a Leader to Leader for a Wednesday, I'm sorry, June 17th. And we want to welcome you and hope that you've been kind of keeping up with this. If it's the first time you're joining us, a great opportunity for you to learn more about LEAD Brevard and the people that make it up, the graduates, the folks who have been through the Leadership Brevard program. If you are one of our alumni or you're familiar with the program, glad you're checking in. This is a great opportunity for you to kind of connect, stay connected, if you will, and be able to catch up on some leadership. Well, let's call it some leadership training, if you will. We don't want you to get fluffy and easy on it. We want you to stay sharp. And so we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:15 on the LEAD Brevard page on Facebook. And we will continue to do this each week. We bring you Leadership Brevard graduates. These are alumni who are successes in their own rights. They're leaders in our community, not only in their businesses, but what they do for our community. They are so actively involved. And in fact, honestly, when I look at the resumes and the highlights of the folks who are coming on, I kind of go, geez, I'm such a slacker because they have got a lot going on. But it gets me motivated too to continue to stay engaged and stay active and do more for our community each and every day. And so we are going to have a good time today with our guests. And I say this all the time. I say I'm going to be really happy to welcome a very good friend of mine. And as these are friends. And this is the great part about Leadership Brevard is not only do you get to have an incredible experience in the programs that we offer, but you also get to meet some great people. And these people become your friends and they become friends for years and years. And so joining me today is Debbie Goode. Debbie is, I'll do a quick read up on her, but she's going to help us a little bit out because she's got one of those long lists too. And I say, oh my goodness. But Debbie Goode is a 1989 graduate of Leadership Brevard. She is a CPA and partner in charge at Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, CPAs and advisors. And Debbie, I will apologize because yesterday I was trying to get that whole name out there and I think I butchered it. So today we'll make sure we say it right. And she founded the government contract advisory team to assist government contractors. And so she's very, very active as a CPA. And also, and I'm going to say this before I introduce her, a forensic CPA, which when she told me that and what she's able to do, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Just absolutely fascinating. Debbie, welcome to the show today. How are you?
Hi, Gio. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you. And I'm so happy to have you here today. You know, I think we became even better friends when you used to live at Duran on the golf course. And I had a terrible hook. And so weren't you on what, second hole or
yes,
fourth?
I found your golf ball in my pool, I think.
Exactly, you did. I just was shanking him, and anytime I get that second hole, instead of going right, I'd go left. So I just walk in and wave to Debbie at least. And this, yeah, but a couple of times I did put a ball into her backyard. So it was you know, hey, but that's how you find friendships. But Debbie, you have just do some incredible stuff. You are one of the people in our community that has really stepped up and done a lot of work outside of your profession, but inside too. So if you could share with me a little bit of your background, please, and how you came to where you are today.
Well, I am a CPA in public accounting, of course, with a public accounting firm. Started out with Coopers & Lybrand in Tampa, Florida, which is where I'm from, and worked there about 4 years, then moved to a small firm here, Hoyman, Oswalt & Kirk, and it's now become, through various mergers, a regional firm. So I am the partner in charge of the office here in the Melbourne office. We have about 55 people.
And where do you, you've got, how many offices are there now? Because this started, didn't it start as a very local firm and then become much larger as far as that goes? And with you becoming part of Carr and Ingram?
Yes, Carr and Ingram actually started in Enterprise, Alabama, back about, I guess it's been about 12, 13 years ago, and has been growing and adding firms, local firms. So we are up to almost, I believe, 60 offices now. And so we cover the whole Southeast region, all the way up to Kentucky and across to Texas.
Wow. So there is no shortage of folks with your organization, but locally, you're also very active in our community, and you do. Boy, I tell you what, if there is something going on, your name's probably attached to it. Including the big one this year is you are the chair of the United Way for Brevard County.
Yes, I'm starting my second year as chair this year. Usually it's a 1-year deal, but I had the opportunity to do it for 2. So I'm doing that. And my campaign chair this year is going to be Linda Weatherman. So we're going to be a great tag team. And I previously served as campaign chair for United Way, also chaired LEAD Brevard for a couple years, chaired We Venture, and I'm on the executive committee right now still of the Space Coast CDC and chaired that organization also for a couple years.
So and in your spare time, oh my goodness. Well, you are very busy, but I tell you what, we do appreciate everything that you've done because you have, you come in with that accountant's eye, and you look at organizations. So you're not only seeing them holistically for who they are and what they do, but you get a chance to really, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you also look at them economically and how they are functioning and so that they are, making sure that they're profitable, that they're able to execute their missions, if you will.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly I'm looking at it from the financial side, economic side, internal control side. I do bring a different, side for sure. I like to think of myself, though, as a well-rounded accountant. Some people think of accountants, with the eye shades and just doing the detailed work. But I'm more of a big picture person. And I do audit, which is more going into big picture. And of course, running my office, I have a lot of different skill sets that I feel I bring to the organizations. But certainly I'm strong in the accounting and economic side, finance.
Yeah, you were talking with, and I remember this conversation, I think it was a few years back, you said you did forensic accounting. And that was like, so my question is, if I had a shell corporation in an offshore account that's not paying taxes, could you find me out?
Yes, possibly we could. I tend to deal more with the corporate side, nonprofits and governments, and really looking, unfortunately, it's sort of, when you do the forensic, it's after the fact. So it's like, how did the money get taken or the assets get taken? How did they do it? How much did they take? So that is a fun side. It's also kind of dangerous, to be honest with you. There's white collar crime out there. It's a very dangerous thing. I prefer to be involved with people up front and getting good internal controls in place so that they can't be stolen from. Because I'd much rather do that than tell them they're going to have to pay me money on top of the money that already got taken. Of course, insurance will reimburse them for some of that, but
right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then, good. So the offshore account right now is okay. No, it's but anyhow, so hey, and you just mentioned, and I think that was a great segue because not only are you working as an accountant and you're doing that, but you're also managing this rather large office of folks. So share with me a little bit, if you will, kind of what is your leadership style to be able to blend both a work and a supervisory role in an organization like you have?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. I think my leadership style really is delegating, and I'm very exception oriented. So I like to delegate to people, and then I like them to come back to me if there's issues or problems. Certainly if something is blowing up, I want to hear about it before I get a call from a client or somebody else. So I'm very much a delegator. I also think you need to listen to your people, build relationships with them, have empathy. I mean, it's different than when I grew up, I'll say, in the public accounting profession, especially with a big national firm. there wasn't a whole lot of empathy, caring, listening. They just sort of told you what to do and on you went. I believe the world's changed a lot. And so we've had to adapt as leaders.
And now take a step back, if you will. How did Leadership Brevard help you out in that? Because, you know, a lot of us always say that we kind of knew our way around. We had our strengths, but Leadership Brevard really gave us that little bit extra that really kind of helped us become better at what we do.
Absolutely. So I'm with the class, as you said, of 1989, of course, the best class ever. And
No, you were. I heard a survey was taken of that class, and they were the best class ever.
Yes. We have a lot of leaders in the community still that I get to see on a regular basis. So we have a great class. So I think, you know, LEAD Brevard, when I had been in this community probably about 6 or 7 years, and it was I felt like it was a little bit closed community where people already knew people, and so they would network with each other. And for me, getting into LEAD Brevard allowed me to meet other people in the community who were already leaders or up and coming leaders, and really to have a network, which really, you need a network, you need to build relationships to be a good leader in whatever you do, because that's how you help people, is through your network. And that's how you help your clients and even your, you know, people that are your employees, is having that network. So it helped me build a really strong network of people. It made me more comfortable when I went to events to go to know people, because before I go somewhere and like I said, it was sort of closed where people were talking to each other, and it allowed me to do that. It also, you know, helped me to be better at kind of marketing and getting out in the community and understanding the community and how important too it is to give back. Because, you know, with LEAD Brevard, you take a tour of the community, get to know your community better, you get to volunteer, and you get to see kind of where you fit in. And really, we did our class, every class has to do a project, of course. We did a project, and I had to go to the Space Coast Early Intervention and help with Christmas decorations and things like that. And so I was in the classroom with these children, and I decided on that day that working with children in classroom was not my thing. I went home and went back and I said, I love my desk. I just love this desk, because that wasn't my thing. But I did learn where I could plug in too, into the community and really make a difference, and where my unique skill set and what I really had a passion for fit in. And we talked about that too in LEAD Brevard, passion. So it was really those areas that helped me the most.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that the great thing is that you are exposed to so many different community needs, if you will, and organizations, that you can really say, okay, this fits me, and this doesn't fit me, and that's okay, because there are others who have the exact 180-degree view, and so they're going to find that passion in one that they wouldn't find in the other. But the opportunity is there for everybody to connect in some way, shape, or form, and I think that's what we really find, is that there's a great need, and surely we can find a place where our talents and our skills fit in the best, and then, you know, then we can love what we do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it makes it for a great time. And so as you've been working around the community, and as in fact holding these very high level positions, how do you kind of differentiate working, or do you in fact differentiate between working with people who are being paid by you essentially, or your organization, and then leadership with volunteers, people who are there because of their passions, not necessarily a paycheck?
Mm-hmm. I really think I treat everybody pretty much equally the same, because if they're there, even if they're not getting a paycheck, they're there because they want to be there, maybe more so than the people that are getting paychecks. So, you know, I think it's important to treat everybody the same, and kind of treat it almost as you would when you're working with volunteers, as a business. But again, if you remember what I said, my skills are, it's empathy, it's understanding, it's building relationships, it's listening. So whether you are working in a business or whether you're working with nonprofit volunteers, you got to get everybody working together and on the same team. So I think that I sort of take the strategy the same way. And certainly, you know, they're going to have less time, so you don't want to overextend them and ask them to do things that are going to take way too much time, because they'll be gone.
Right.
I also have a friend of mine who volunteered, and he said nobody ever like told him thank you. And so even though he went to this place day after day after day, nobody ever said thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, wow.
And he said, so I decided, you know what? They didn't even, one day somebody didn't know his name that came in, and they said, what was your name? You go over there and do that. And just treated him like he was just, something that was there for their use. So I think that goes true again, business or nonprofits, appreciating people for what they do and letting them know that.
I think that is so important, because it is, you're sharing your time, talent, and treasure. The least somebody can do is say thank you at the end of the day, and appreciate what you do. Hey, you're working in the office. I know a lot of people still kind of working from home. How are you managing your team with this kind of diverse workplace situation?
Well, it's been very interesting. Obviously, we have become much more attuned to the computer. We are getting better at receiving. I mean, my background is doing audits and reviews, where you usually go out to a client's location and you gather documents and you gather data. Well, the clients don't want to see me. And frankly, when everything was closed down, we couldn't even go there. So we've learned to do a lot more work remote and using a lot more systems in order to see each other, to get the documents transferred to us. So in that way, that's changed. With my employees, it was interesting because we used to have team meetings, and right before actually actually the office was closed to clients, but some of the partners were here, a few of our team members, and some of our admin, but everybody else was working remotely. And I thought, this isn't fun anymore, because we used to see each other and we used to be able to go to lunch or do whatever, and now we're like, I don't even know what these people are like. I talk to them maybe on the phone or get an email. Maybe we do a call, but right. Not much.
Yeah.
So one of the things I did was do a team meeting, and we have Blue Jeans app, and I got everybody on there and just had everybody kind of go around, show me like what is in your space. So let me see your pet, let me see your kids. And it was a lot of fun, and everybody had fun. And we really needed that, because I think we have to remember that when you're not together as a team, you lose some of that. And so, you lose some of that camaraderie, and people could go work wherever. So for me, it's like, we have to keep that camaraderie going and the communication.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And, people do, they really need that one-to-one connection, just to be able to see somebody face to face. We do it now with the Zoom and these other platforms, and yeah, it's better than phone calls and emails, but there's still something to be said for having people in a room, and sharing that energy, because people give off energy, and you have to be able to take that in, and it's very hard to do it in a digital atmosphere, if you will. And so I know that hopefully things will, if we get to that point where we can start getting people in, and maybe it's a flexible thing. So, that they're there for scheduled meetings that you need to have, and then they have some flexibility to work from home, as they become adaptable to that. But, I've always been one that I like to see my people. It just feels better that way. But I also appreciate what everybody's going through right now, and technology is letting us do that. So, if you can, all the better for it. We'll maybe find maybe a little bit more of that work-life balance, perhaps.
Absolutely. I think there's all different personalities of people out there. I mean, there's some people that would just assume. In fact, I asked some of my people, hey, when you were working at home, did you like it? Oh yeah, I love just being in my house, being with my cat. I could do that all the time. And you have those kind of people. And then you have other people. I mean, for me, I like to keep things a little fun. I like to network. It's been very difficult not going out to the business community, seeing people.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, somebody said, hey, should we have our meetings virtual all the time? And I said, no, we just miss so much if we just do virtual, because we're not getting the opportunity to just learn from each other and talk about each other's personal lives and things like that as much as you would when you are in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, but we're adapting, what? And I think that's the sign of a true leader, is that you're able to see the big picture, understand that, adaptations have to be made, but you work best to ensure that the mission's still complete, that you get the work done, that your clients are satisfied, that you are able to, make everything happen like it used to, even though you have challenges and obstacles in front of you. So.
And it is amazing because you can make it all work. You have to do it a little differently, but everything, you can still get pretty much everything done. So
Yeah.
it takes a little longer sometimes, but you can get it done.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the things I do appreciate, and I know you've moved from the golf course since then, but golf was one of the things they didn't really shut down too heavily. So that was, I still sling them left, but that's okay. I don't care as long as I'm out there and able to enjoy it. So, well, Debbie, hey, it's been great having you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you, Geo. Appreciate you asking me to be on your show here.
Oh, absolutely. And again, as always, good to have good friends and that you can see. And because, again, we haven't had a chance to really see each other because of all the things that are going on. Hopefully an event soon. I just want an event. Just bring me an event.
Yes,
we can all get together again. And, even if we got to wear masks, like I'll even go that far. But I'll tell you what, it really is. So anyhow, we got Debbie Goode. Thank you so much, Debbie. It's really been a pleasure, from Carr, Riggs, and Ingram, CPAs and advisor. She is a partner in charge. And when I say that, believe me, she's got a big responsibility, but she makes it happen. And she truly is one of our community assets. Because let me tell you what, the work that she has put in, and I've known her over many, many years, always dedicated to Brevard, always in the thick of things, working to make our community a better place to live, work, and play. And so I truly appreciate her. Debbie, thank you so much for being with me today. And thank you for joining me on Leader to Leader. This is brought to you by LEAD Brevard. If you'd like to find out more about Leadership Brevard program or any of the other programs that LEAD Brevard puts together, you can keep those two separated yet equal, but it's a great way for you to connect to the community. If you haven't figured that out already from the guests that we've had, these are people who really not only are leading in business, but leading throughout our places, north to south. They find a need and they fill it. And we're so very grateful to have them with us. You can get more information about anything that LEAD Brevard is doing by visiting their website at leadbrevard.org or calling 321-632-8222. If you are interested in sponsoring Leader to Leader, this program has been going on for almost 2 months now. And with the list of guests that are interested in joining us, we see this going further on and developing a little bit more. If you'd like to become a sponsor and help support this organization and this show, we invite you to do that too. Visit the LEAD Brevard website or call LEAD Brevard, and Kristen and her team will be able to help you out a little bit more. Don't forget, Leader to Leader is here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:15 p.m. on the LEAD Brevard Facebook page. If you need help with your story, with your brand, I get to do my own little plug here too, is you can visit Ropert and Partners, Ropert, the word and, partners.com. And if you're right now, especially, people say, okay, we're getting into the second round, I guess, of the virus, and we're getting into different stages of what's going on. And we've got all sorts of things happening. But if you really want your brand story to be told, and if you're having trouble finding your voice, you need to talk to us at Ropert and Partners. We'll help you do that. If you want to get some more information on how you can best handle this crisis and those things that are going around you, head to our homepage. You can download a crisis communications guide, and we're even providing a complimentary call, and we'll help you work through some strategies that are unique to your business to help you tell your story, stay top of mind and in front of your customers and your audiences. It has been great. Debbie, again, thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing you around town. And you have yourself a great day, and you too. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow with Dan Henn. He's going to be joining us, and we had 2 CPAs on, I think, in a row now. This is something that will have interesting sides there, because I think he does a little bit differently than what you do. So you'll each have your own story. So it's great. Debbie, thanks again. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.